君のことば繰り返し寝ても覚めてもやまないそっけない君の笑顔が恋しくて星に願うのまた会えるよね
All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and get started. This is going to be first the JV match and then the varsity match from last night. JV, well, I call them JV. They're team 2. There's no JV league. They just play in the same league. So Lafayette is in the blue and Butler High School's team is in the red for this game 1. We've got Kasim in the top lane. His character's name is Akali, and actually I'm gonna switch it to so you can see their summoner names, so you can start getting used to them, especially since we're gonna be playing this lineup for most of the season. So we've got Kasim in the top lane, we've got Logan in the mid lane. In the jungle, Keon Sater Sr., he's going to be leading this team. That's an ironically timed emote right as I'm showing them off. Emily, one of our returning players, multiple years now, one of the best supports we've had. And then an ADC debuting for her first starting game is going to be Rin. So I don't know any of Butler's people's names, but we can look at their comp. We could say, okay, Briar here in the top lane, she's a very feast or famine character. Very literally, she's a vampire. And her whole goal is to either she will die or you will die, and that's all she wants to do. Yone here in the mid lane tends to be pretty aggressive, aptly named Angry, or maybe ironically named. We'll have to see what kind of playstyle they have. Lee Sin here in the jungle, and the bot lane, Misfortune and Soraka, which isn't a normal combo pairing that you tend to see, so I'm curious how this is gonna go. Meanwhile, Braum Tristana is or can become a kill lane, so we'll have to see what ends up happening there. For Lafayette, Keon does not normally play Rammus, but when we saw how much AD that they locked in, how much physical damage they locked in, this character is designed to counter physical damage. He is a this turtle with a spiky shell, basically saying if you hit me, you're going to hurt yourself, and that's kind of what that whole character does. Is he forces people to attack him after rolling in, and then they kind of hurt themselves, you know. So here we go, first gank of the game probably coming out, and they're in. You can see how this character forced it to force that Misfortune to start attacking him, and they were able to secure the first blood for Lafayette. Meanwhile, in the top lane, it looks like Briar and Lee Sin attempted to gank this Akali up here, and yet Akali in the 1v2 prevails. This is back-to-back weeks where Kasim knows that he can handle the 1v2s and pretty much plans for it. Ooh. Pulled off the 1v1, gets the kill, but will he die for it? It's going to be close, and he's out. So picks up the kill in a 1v2 situation. Oh, Disco Mastodon with another kill down here in the bot lane. Must have missed what happened there. That's my bad. In the mid lane, they've traded health for mana, but I'm unsure if Nico can do a whole lot about this now because she's so low on mana. You can see how every time she uses a spell, it takes up a certain amount of mana for her. You can see that here. You know, 60 mana, all these different things. And so she just does not have a whole lot of mana to spend right now. And as we take stock of things right now, Lafayette, because of their 3 kills, have already come out to a gold lead, and really not much else has happened in the game. It's not really a slow start that we've already had 3 kills in 4 minutes, but I am curious what Lafayette's first big objective is going to be, because kills are great, but it depends on what you turn them into. Sometimes kills turn into multiple kills. It looks like Bob Ross going right back at it up here in the top lane. Mid lane still here in this awkward state where Nico is just very low on mana. It's going to be hard for her to continue to farm, and Yone is low on health, so it's hard for him to want to fully engage. I'm going to reorganize some of this here so we can keep track of items against opponents. So now everyone's lined up: top, jungle, mid, bot, carry, support. Oh, here we go, another gank top. Lisa saying, I'm going to come back, I'm going to help, and Kali immediately respects it. That's really well played. A lot of times people who in 1v2 situations start to ego, think they can handle every 1v2 situation, and instead just backed off. Smartly played there by Kasim. Yona's 6 now, but because he's about half health, it's a little awkward for him to look for an all-in right now. He still can, but it would be tough. Meanwhile, Nico has just really been sitting here on very, very, very low mana for a long time. There was going to be a gank top, so it looked like Braum and Rammus were heading up there to try to start ganking this, to apply more and more pressure onto this Briar, and Kasim just says, I'm going to go ahead and kill him. And respectful here in the bot lane, Rin does not overstep. In fact, she's taken 0 damage from the enemy bot lane in this 1v2 scenario, but it looks like Lee Sin's gonna start making his way down here. Will he start the dragon or will he look for a gank? I'm very unsure what, and it looks like he is also very unsure of what he wants to do. He's looking in for the gank. We can see this from Rin's perspective. The Fog of War, she does not see this. And he showed very briefly. That is very good awareness. A lot of players tend to miss those, especially how brief that was right there. So we can see that Lee Sin has given up and gone back on his way. Meanwhile, Braum and Rammus are moving back down. Let's see if a fight breaks out. We can see this from their perspective. They see Braum and Rammus coming back down. They know to back off. Butler very respectful, using a lot of vision to their advantage. Another fight in the top lane. Doesn't turn into anything. Alright, here in the mid lane now, Nico has had a chance to base. She's got most of her mana back so that she can continue to throw out spells. That also means Yone had a chance to base. He's also full health, pretty much. And right as I say that, he takes a lot of damage, gets really angry, decides to go all in, and now they're both back at half health. They send down here looking for the gank, but he was sitting on a ward. He did not know that he was on a ward. So Lafayette was able to spy him. They also have vision in these 2 bushes, just like Butler did. I'm toggling back and forth between the vision, so you'll have a good idea of what it's like to see. A lot of people, whenever you have it like this and you can see everything, it's like, oh, how did they make that mistake? It seems so obvious. It's because in League of Legends you do not have all the information given to you. You can only see as far as every character can see a certain distance, and then wards have like an area around them that they can see, like a circular area-ish. So as you can see, they cannot see that they've started this dragon. They don't know. They can guess. No one's on the map. They don't see anybody except for Akali right now. And there goes the dragon. So for those who are wondering, the dragon just gives you permanent stats for the rest of the game. In this case, a small buff, 2% of your health every 5 seconds. But those types of things add up over the course of a game, especially as the game gets longer and longer and stats start becoming really sometimes the deciding factor on whether you can win a fight or not. One of the main ways to earn any stat though is by getting items, and so when you recall, that is the only time you can go back and purchase items. We see another gank here in the top lane. You can see with the flash to not die himself, but he might. Oh, barely dodges. So that's called Briar's ult. It's called certain death, I believe. Let's see. Yep, certain death. And basically that missile you saw, if it lands, the character will either kill you or she will die. She follows it no matter what, and she will go to the ends of the earth. Literally, I've seen games where Briars go all the way to the enemy base, chasing people. And she was saying, I'm going for it. This Akali's low, I'm low. Let's do this. Let's fight. But it missed. Didn't matter. They've sent a lot of resources top to try to gank this Akali, and every time Akali has either gotten a kill or just made it out perfectly fine, which is huge for Lafayette's team. Yes, that means that we haven't had a kill in 6 minutes, but it's also meant that Butler cannot find a way into this game. They keep looking for advantages, they keep trying to do things, but so far Lafayette has managed to avoid everything that Butler has thrown their way in this game one. Don't know why I have caps lock on. Let's turn that back off. Alrighty, back to seeing all the vision we could see now. We're at this interesting point of the game where a lot of characters are getting very close to their first items. We can see here, Misfortune has these 2 components. Alright, hold on, I'm gonna need to pause for a second. Oh, Nico went for the ult that knocks them up and brings them down, but Yone, he has this like umbilical cord looking thing that he like tethers out on and then comes back to. So that's he snapped back is the phrase. It looks like Rammus says, now we're getting kicked top, and just like before, I feel like that's deja vu. As Rammus is coming in to participate, Akali's already killed. So Rammus decides to do the other objective on the other half of the map, and once again, if we toggle vision, we can see that Butler has no idea that this is going on. They can make a guess, but for now, they just will not know until they all go down. This is huge for Lafayette. Neutral objectives, well, again, tend to give your team permanent buffs. Oh, this might be a kill. Not quite. Alright, so Nico does go down. I must have missed that. That's my bad. That's the first kill for Butler. They finally find a hold in, but I mean, it took 12.5 minutes of Lysium looking around everywhere. And it looks like he wasn't even able to participate in this kill. Yon picks up the solo kill there. Good for him. But we'll see if he could turn that into anything, because Lafayette has been managing to hold on everywhere that Butler tries to swing, and then they've been able to take more on the other side. The next dragon is coming up in 49 seconds. I wonder if there'll be a fight for that, or if, like the last two objectives, Butler will just be watching it go away without being able to do anything about it. I would really like to see a fight here soon. Misfortune's actually completed an item though, so maybe I don't want to see a fight here. We'll see. Depends on what they feel like they can do. And once again, Kasim up here on the top line. Let's watch this for a little bit. See, this is exactly what Kasim could see. He had the ward here. That ward just expired. He still has a ward here. This blue one lets him see the enemy red one. And what it also does is the red ward that's in here now no longer gives vision around it. So these wards tend to get rid of a lot of things. Okay, we have a fight here down the bot lane. Lots of CC, lots of crowd control coming down. Nico knocks them up and knocks them down. Nico grabs the first kill. Tristana grabs the second, and that will be a free dragon at this point. All Butler could do is, well, not watch it go down, because their jungler's on the other half of the map, and all of their teammates just died in that fight. Well, not all, but a chunk of them, right? And another dragon. This dragon in particular gives you plus 3% attack damage and ability power. So you can just think, you know, plus 3 to stats, right? It's hard to quantify it when you don't know the game, but just know that they're permanent buffs that add up to quite a lot over time. Looks like Yon is continuing to try to get aggressive here, but Nico in the mid lane continues to dodge out on a lot of what Yon is throwing out. See if anything else comes of this. I also like this vision for Lafayette. So since Tristana is down here by herself while her support is elsewhere, there's vision to protect her. She did just lose that though, so now she's in an awkward place. This is a little risky, and yet she has this vision here. Lafayette could see that Misfortune's going mid. So actually this Tristana is very safe right now. Can see the Soraka and Misfortune. We're looking for something mid. Alright, let's look at this fight. We got a fight up here on the top side. And the fight breaks out. The Rambus taunts the Lee Sin into attacking him. And a rampage for Kasim on this Akali. A double kill. Triple kill. And honestly, quadra kill for Kasim on the Akali. Will he get the penta? Into penta kill for the Akali. Well done there. That, I mean, a lot of times whenever that happens, you feel like that's the end of a game when that happens to you. The equivalent would be getting like a touchdown in football, then kicking the onside kick, and then getting another touchdown again. And you're just completely demoralized by everything that just happened in such a short amount of time. And this same exact thing happened. Now Lafayette has found themselves in a 7,000 gold lead. Every single one of their characters now have their first full item. I say that as Ramus has now not have first full item yet, but that's fine. Whatever. Some of Butler's characters do, but as we see, Yona's itemized defensively. Briar is itemizing completely defensively. So it's going to be a while before they can do the damage, and if they don't have damage, I don't know how they're ever going to get these kills. And in fact, Jonas having to use his ult, that giant dash, just to get away and run from the person he was harassing just minutes ago. Lafayette see this Lee Sin, their vision deep into the enemy territory, letting them see the Lee Sin approach. Never really worried. Nico heading here to the bot lane to cover and catch this wave worth of gold. Ramus clearing out vision. So this is what Butler can see. They don't have this turret here, and they are lacking in vision. They've got this here and like a little line, but some of this will disappear and they will not be able to push up past that without risking being collapsed on. Ramus goes in. Alright, pretty drawn out fight at this point. But you can just see they don't have the damage to take them out. In a 3v4, because they had to itemize so defensively early on, and Rin picks up one kill. She's on a killing spree. Hops onto the next one. Double kill for Rin. And this just starting to take off 4-0-3 now. And honestly, at this point, it's become a game of Braum and Ramus setting up the crowd control. Maybe Nico involved too, and Akali and Tristana just cleaning it up. At this point, I don't think there's a single person. I mean, we actually saw 5 people couldn't take out the Akali. But maybe in a coordinated effort, they'd have to all be attacking her at the same time, trying to pin her down, but I'm very unsure. This Akali is getting pretty out of hand. Has the Mage Eyes here. What this item does is it gives you extra 5 ability every stack. You get 4 stacks for a kill, 2 stacks for an assist. If you die, you lose a bunch of them. But this turns into a lot of damage. So right now with 14 stacks, that's 70 ability power added onto that 20 that's part of the item. So for 90, it's just an incredible amount. Like, there's few items in the game. Oh, this is certain death. I actually kind of hope it hits so we can see this. All right, looks really cool. There goes Briar in, and we can see how Briar just runs them down, continues to attack, and then she does the scream. So that scream is what like lets her stop. And I feel like at that point you just shouldn't have stopped it. You know you're gonna die. You need to go for it. Oh, and Ren is unstoppable on the Tristan on the other half of the map. Lafayette winning out on both halves. This game is getting a little out of hand. I'm wondering how they're gonna close it out now. Lafayette picking up their 3rd dragon. This being the mountain dragon will give them some defenses and put them on soul point. So for those wondering what is soul, what do I mean by that? Oh, and there's the taunt, and Disco Mastodon not dominating here on the Tristana. This Ramus Braum combo just holding people down. The fist bump coming out. The fist bump's one of the funniest things ever added. I thought y'all were blue. We are blue. We are blue. We are blue. I'm occasionally showing both sides. Yeah, Lafayette is blue. So now we're at an awkward point where it's like, all right, Lafayette is in the driver's seat. I'm unsure what Butler can do, because if they try to take a full fight, Lafayette's characters are so far ahead. You can see how in 1v1 scenarios, it's just not really even a fair fight. The Akali's super far ahead. Everything she does way more damage than anything the other person could do. No amount of skill is going to help him there. And this Lee Sin's trying to hold onto this tower by himself. He does not know he's about to get collapsed on by multiple people. And then comes Braum. Emily, aggressive with the Braum, barely misses that concussive blow. Tristana continuing to shove here. And this is where Butler will start to feel pressured out. they only have these towers here, and to walk past and get vision for any of their teammates. I actually really like this and respect this. They got a lot of vision for the Misfortune to push, but I mean, they're just gonna continue to lose other things on the map because they can't really fight into Lafayette, and Lafayette is pinging on their way to this Misfortune, who is completely caught out. So even though Misfortune sees this coming, she knows. Maybe she's just accepting it. She's starting to recall, but I mean, she's dead. She tries to run. And dead. Keon picking up the kill this time. What I would really like to see now from Lafayette is try to break into the base, starting to get the inhibitors. Maybe in mid and bot, rotating to Baron, getting that, or maybe just attacking Baron now, saying, we have so much more gold than you. If you fight us at Baron, we will end this game. We will kill all of y'all and then end the game from there. There goes a Tower 4 Butler. It's an objective bounty. What that means is they're so far behind that they get extra gold for taking objectives on the map. Because right now they are 11,000 gold behind. And all right, fight breaking out here. And they try to go in on, that's a really good kick onto the Tristana, but they're not able to follow up the damage. Viral coming in, it does connect. Here comes the certain death. But it looks like it's going to be certain death. Double kill for the Braum. Looks like it's, and double kill for the Tristana. It looks like the only person that was certain death for was the Briar. And then this neutral objective is actually a temporary buff, so a lot of the ones that we've talked about so far have been permanent. They last the rest of the game. But the Baron, it lasts for only a couple minutes, and it allows you to push really hard. We saw this last week, but for those who weren't here, we should see Lafayette take a recall here. Yep, looks like they're doing so. Good. No. Eco. It's fine, we'll talk about it. The reason why I don't like this is unless you can very quickly get a item that's going to change the game, and at this point nothing's going to change the game, you're very far ahead, then the only thing that you need to do is attack the map with your team. And I really like what Lafayette's trying to do. They're trying to buff up as many sides as they can. So these minions now will have the Baron buff with them. You can see like they have this buffed up glow. They will wipe through. This Misfortune goes down. Let's see from her angle. She does not see this coming. And 3 people instantly on her, and she is dead. And that is why it is so hard. You cannot walk up past where you don't have vision without just risking death. You have to decide, is it worth it to die? And after 20 minutes, it's definitely not. You have a long death timer. So Soul, by the way, we didn't talk about this earlier. Soul gives you a permanent buff that is much stronger than anything else. So I forget what Mountains is. I think it gives you like a shield. So we'll see after they take this. All of them have a shield just sitting on them, including their health. So like now it's even harder to kill them. Like it's just going to become a different measure of difficulty now. It looks like Butler has decided that it is going to be worth it to send multiple people to this bot lane and continue to try to maybe get an objective bounty, but in doing so, they are going to get their base destroyed. Briar still, and Misfortune still trying to defend top. But this mid tower is gone, and maybe it's because they don't think they can hold it. That makes sense. I don't think they'd be able to hold it. You can see how fast that just went down. But if they're not careful, if Butler's not careful, Lafayette can just continue to push through and end this game. They have a big enough wave, in comes the certain death. And once again, the Tristana legendary 10, 0, and 5 here. There's the umbilical cord for the Yone. Snaps back. Cannot find anything. Meanwhile, oh yeah, there's the other nice perk of Baron buff. These minions can attack from outside of tower range. You can see how annoying that is to deal with. It is constantly just hitting at that tower, taking it down over time. And at this point, it just feels like Butler does not have the damage to make a stand. And Lafayette is just going to take everything from them, including the Nexus. That will be game 1 for Lafayette. GG's coming out in the chat. And we are going to hop right into game 2. I'll take a break in between that and team 1 playing so I can get some water. But for now, I think it's best to just go ahead and hop into game 2. So after that, Lafayette now on the red side and Butler on the blue side. Once again, this is Lafayette's team 2 and Butler's main team. I'm going to reorganize this so that it has characters lined up. The reason why I like doing that, by the way, is so that like when I press tab and you can see things, you can see top laner versus top laner and you compare it straight in the line. Jungler, jungler, mid laner, mid laner, bot carries, supports. I should probably press tab a little bit more in this game. I didn't do it a whole lot last game. Looks like Kasim is the only one who gets to replay his same character. Akali here taken for us. Logan, on the other hand, is now the one piloting the Yone. Oh, that is... Guys, y'all thinking way too much. Look at that in the chat. As if I couldn't see. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm gonna leave it on for now, but that is hilarious. Okay. Is there a way to turn that off? Bruh. Guys. They'll stop soon once they have to start fighting people. Yeah, they won't be able to do it anymore. They're just having a lot of fun. And why not? I mean, you are winning. So let's talk about this now. Keon on one of his favorite champs, the Belveth, the monster from the void. You can see this character is a pretty terrifying looking character. And of course, you know, he likes being a monster in the jungle. Why not? Makes sense. In the bot lane, Ren, instead of on the Tristana, is now on Seraphine. And Emily, instead of on Braum, is now on Karma. This lane can poke from a very far distance and do a lot of damage. But the other thing that they will do in the late game, because poke doesn't matter as much, poke is like that, where if you hit them, you poke at them, right? Like you can imagine if you got poked enough and got hit by those things enough, eventually you'll lose all your health, right? So you just get chipped away at, you just get poked at. And they can do that from a very safe distance. But the thing that they also do as the game goes on is shield their teammates. And so it'll be very hard for the enemy team, unless they have a lot of damage, to make it through all the shields that Lafayette will have. Oh, we already see a gank up here in the top lane. Volibear, great flash out from Felicia. Go. So let's talk about Butler's team a little bit here. They do have the newest character in the game, Smolder. He's this little dragon guy who has the very pompous air to him, as if he knows he's royalty. There's Swain, one of the classic characters from the game. There's a gank here in mid lane. Good knockups, but they know that if they try to attack too close, they will be under the turret. They won't be able to do a whole lot there. So in the mid lane for Butler is Twisted Fate. This character, there's a superhero that's a lot like him, throws cards and stuff. I just can't think right now off the top of my head. But the way his cards work is each color does a different thing. The yellow one's stun, the red one does a slow. You can see how this character's slowed now. The blue one gives him mana back. We got a gank down here in the bot lane. Maybe something will come out. Okay, Keon getting angry. Flashes, it gets first blood. Echo not able to flash in response. Really well played there from Keon. And now Butler This could be another gank. Not quite able to find it there. But the poke is starting to do its whole. Smolder is now so incredibly low on health. Here in the top lane, it looks like Felicia Goat is actually just avoiding fighting as much as they did in the last game. Echo is going to be coming up for a gank. Akali does not see this. We'll have to see if Kasim will 1v2 just like he did last game. Continue to stay safe. Echo is making his way up here. Let's watch it from Kasim's point of view. He does not see that this gank's coming, but he has to know that it's possible. Dodges the damage, and he is able to get out. So for those who don't know, when this shroud goes down, Akali gets away. That's very hard to see. Oh man. Flash is coming out, but unfortunately this umbilical cord, he's gonna have to snap back, and he is going to die. So there's a kill over to Butler. Nice early kill for him. And he's doing a very interesting thing. So Twisted Fate is very traditionally a mage. He throws his cards with abilities, but recently they've changed the character in a way to where his auto attacks and building physical damage items make him stronger. So it's like an option. You don't have to go this way. And we can already see that this Twisted Fate is starting to itemize towards that AD build, that physical damage build. Echo is going to start up the Grugs, and Lafayette does not know that this is happening. They're slow to rotate to this, and the Volibear is going to move on, so Lafayette is immediately pinging, saying that this is probably happening. Looks like Yon's going to come over and try to check. And he gets a ward over, as we can see, but it's going to be too late to do anything, and Butler manages to take them all away before Lafayette can really do a whole lot. So well done by them. And a very different start to this game for Butler than the last. Some poke coming out back and forth from both teams. Oh, there the stuns come out, the damage comes out, and now Butler's bot lane is having to flash away. And that can be really frustrating to play against. Oh, and another kill over for the Twisted Fate. This could turn into an issue. We'll have to keep our eyes on this. Looks like Keon's wanting to fight this. He is not on vision, so the Twisted Fate does not see. But he does pull out the stun card, and Belveth immediately respects it. Oh, just kidding. Does not immediately respect it. And will he be able to? Nope. Not able to clean up the kill. Got very, very close, but couldn't finish it. Alright, let me Limesy up here. Ganking again. And a kill over. Very patiently played. You could see how those shields changed the nature of that fight, and that's just one character shielding. Imagine when in the late game fights you have both characters shielding. This is going to be a very frustrating thing to play against. Alright, looks like Volibear is going to get aggressive against this Akali. Looking for the fight, misses the slam down, but Akali's having to flash away. Again, Butler in this game, very different look than the previous one, is flashing in, might be able to get this kill. One more auto attack secures it, and Volibear secures the kill against Kasim here in the top lane. That is unfortunate. We got to fight down here in the bot lane. And Butler is looking to secure this dragon. Lafayette is struggling to make way. They do not have vision of this. They cannot see how low it has gotten. But they might be able to get a kill onto the Smolder. They lose the dragon, but they get the kill. And here comes Bell, Veth, Seraphine, and Karma. And it looks like that's all Lafayette is going to settle for. They're going to take the kill onto their Belveth and continue to farm up, wait for the late game team fights, because that is what they want to do. They really want to get to that point in the game where they're fighting together as a unit. And I like that Yon has not backed up too far. You can see a lot of times what people do is when they die a lot, start respecting it, and that's good. It's good to respect, but it's also important not to concede everything. because then you're just going to get bullied, and you still need to get your CS. You still need to get your minion kills. That is the difference between whether you can afford items or not. As you can see, every time they like last hit a minion, they get a certain amount of gold, like 21. A full wave ends up being, you know, a little over 100 gold in total if you get all of them. And so that can add up to items that cost money. Even though you get passive gold, it's really not that much. You can see like it's like a count, right? So CS, towers, those are all the best ways to get gold. Gonna fight here in the top lane. Call going in. Volibear having to use his slam to get out, but will it be enough? Bel'Veth slides in, gets the kill, slides out. Whew. Really wanted to pick up the Void Coral there to be able to so for those that don't know, Bel'Veth turns into an even more terrifying monster, as you can see when she gets these kills and assists, because she can do a lot more things. Let's just say that. All right, Twisted Fate continuing to press its advantage here in the mid lane. And I really like this look from Butler. They are focusing a lot on these objectives, and Lafayette's going to have to decide what they are going to continue to give away, because if Butler starts this back up, Lafayette is not there for it. They're going to get vision on this now. They see that Echo was here, and they push him off. They get a ward on it so that they can see and see if it starts getting taken. But I don't know if they could fight into this Twisted Fate, and Twisted Fate just moves over, and immediately Butler starts this up. Bel'Veth is looking, but can Bel'Veth do anything? I do not think so, and it looks like they've decided against it. It looks like they're not going to fight. Akali's not fighting. Yone's not teleporting. Yone doesn't have teleport right now. It's still coming up. And so they decide not to take the Aqua fight, and actually looks like Bel'Veth's going to look for an invade here. Steal away some camps away from the Echo. And maybe even look for a gank here onto the Smolder, who is now alone. Smolder does not know that this could happen. He's just waiting patiently for this ward. Continues to get poked in the face, but it looks like Lafayette are backing off the play, knowing that they were taking quite a long time. Oh, Twisted Fate's coming in. This could turn into disaster. And then Seraphine goes down. Even though the Twisted Fate got involved, not a whole lot happened, and he might end up losing more of his mid lane tower for it. So unfortunately, the kill was given over to the Swain. Instead, we can see here the support took the kill. And so a lot of time invested by this Twisted Fate to come down there and it not turn into anything can usually be pretty unfortunate. Especially if it wasn't your Smolder, your bot lane carry getting the kill, it was your support. Now, it's not like the Swain meant to take it, it just happens sometimes. But as we saw in the last game, Braum got that double, right? Well, this is, so far, let's just take stock of everything. Lafayette is ahead by about 1,000 gold. A lot of that is due to the farm discrepancy here in the top lane. So even though Volibear got that kill, and kills are worth gold, this is why here at Lafayette we prioritize the minions and learning to do really well at this, because as you can see, this minion advantage is turned into a 350 gold advantage in his favor. Oh, we gotta fight. So far, no one has gone down. Everyone has been flashing. Smolder picks up the first kill of it. Limousine Lines, he picks up the next. Yone goes in, but Yone is alone now. And this could be disaster. Triple kill for the Twisted Fate, and now Twisted Fate is by far the richest person in the game with 6,420 gold, 5-0, trying to take over this game and doing well so far. You can see where Lafayette is pinging. They know that he's the problem. They They're not blind to that. They just need to come up with a plan to stop him, because this Twisted Fate is definitely becoming an issue. Looks like now in this 1v1 matchup up here, after just a bit of time, it looks like Akali is starting to take over the matchup. Not a whole lot going on now. We don't have another dragon for another 4.5 minutes. We might see a fight at Rift Herald. We see that Lafayette sent their support up here to say, hey, we're not gonna sit here and send everyone bot. We're gonna do things on the other half of the map. I love these wards. These are the best wards in the game. Love what I'm seeing out of Lafayette's support here. Lots of roams. And they are going to secure their first objective of the game. They gave up the Krogs, they gave up the first few dragons, but they are going to go for this Rift Herald. Let's see. So what this thing does is once you take it, you can use it to help you take a tower. And with mid lane being pretty low, they might just summon it here. A little bit of miscoordination. Velvet feeling like she had to go for the knock up early, not waiting for the Karma stun to come in. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, they are not able to kill Seraphine. Seraphine in the 1v2, just hanging out and vibing. Alright, well, Yone is able to flash out and avoid most of the damage. And is going to live here, actually. That is huge for Lafayette. A teleport coming out. This has got to be from Smolder. Yep. Let's say no one else on the enemy team had it available to them, so. Looks like Echo's looking for a fight. Echo wants this. And Belveth gets into the Rift Herald. And they are able to get that first kill. And now you can see this is the objective they took earlier. It goes and helps you push the lanes, try to take turrets. And I want you to see once it like gets a chance to, it's going to. Oh, that is a great ult from the Seraphine. But unfortunately, it's not quite able to get the kill. Just kidding. And Trollboy has claimed 1 kill, has claimed 2. And now this Belveth is starting to take off, and they should be able to secure this turret now with it. And that will be the first turret of the game going over to Lafayette. A huge injection of gold, and now, yes, they are only up about 1,500 gold, but remember they were starting to lose some of those team fights. Oh, let's see if Young can make it out of it this time. Nope, it looks like he just accepted his fate. Twisted Fate able to get the kill. Twisted Fate 6-0 at this point. Meanwhile, Belveth 5-1. We'll have to see which one of these two will be able to carry their team across the finish line in the end. But it is not always down to just one person. It looks like a lot of Butler's characters are losing out in their opposing counterparts matchups. Smolder's pretty even with Seraphine. Swain's behind Karma by 1,000 gold. Olibear's behind by 800. So I'm not sure that Twisted Fate, or that Belveth, that Keon will need to carry his whole team, because his team is doing very, very well to stay in this game, even though the Twisted Fate is starting to get strong. Alright, we've got a gank here in the top lane, but Kasim sees it because of a well-placed ward into the river, and he just gets out as quickly as he can. And it looks like he's baiting him back in. They do not know that the Belveth's coming. Here comes Belveth. Echo having to dash away. He does not want to take that sort of a fight. And Twisted Fate godlike now. This is dangerous. Twisted Fate looking for the ghost. This is a big moment. He's looking for the fed Belveth. It's going to be the 1v1. Well, it's not a 1v1, it's a 2v2. And the shutdown goes over to the Akali. That is a huge amount of gold over to Lafayette. When you get a lot of kills, when you get a lot of gold, you can see like you're worth extra amount of gold, right? So if someone were to kill the Belveth, not only would they get the kills worth of gold, but they'd also get an extra 300 for taking her down. And we could see that Twisted Fate was actually worth 700 gold extra. So that means a total of 1,000. going over to the Akali now. So Akali getting a huge injection of gold makes her almost one of the richest person on Lafayette, even though she is only 1-1-1 on the scoreboard. That one kill mattering quite a lot. It looks like she's going to look for a second one. Barely doesn't connect on that shuriken flip. Lafayette trying to get vision for the second dragon, or third dragon. Oh man, this is an important dragon for them to get. But it looks like Belveth is only just now taking a reset. It is important that Lafayette realizes this does not lose in the game if they give this up. And they do not have their two strongest members, the Akali and the Belveth, here at this fight. If Akali and Belveth are not at the fight, they cannot fight. It looks like Akali saying, I'm going top. There's some of that poke still coming out from Karma. And that poke is incredible. That's got to be frustrating to play against when a support chunks you for a third of your health. Poke is definitely one of the more annoying things to play against. Alright, let's watch this from Butler's point of view. They get a lot of good damage onto the Seraphine. They get a lot of good damage onto Lafayette. They just don't have the vision. They keep losing sight of them. They get some stuns out, but there's a huge knockup. And then the Yone goes in, gets a big knockup. But again, no deaths have come out. And now a rampage for the Belveth. But they are able to get the shutdown. But once again, it is this Swain who continues to take these shutdowns. Not on purpose, but it just happens. And that's a big amount of gold over to a support. That is not the person that you want to have it. And Yako just dies. He had almost no health. He went in looking for that fight. They should be able to secure this third dragon, but it looks like Emily here on the Karma does not want to let it be easy for them. Continues to try to harass them. I wonder if she will be able to stop them from taking this. I do not think so. Yeah, it looks like they're going to be able to finish it off. But she did make it hard for them, made them work for it. And they got pretty low on the process. And also they have not reset on the map. This is actually a moment where Lafayette can look to take mid tower because Twisted Fate and Swain are so low that they're going to have to reset on this map. They have not spent all that gold that they just got. Maybe Lafayette could even look for a Baron, knowing that they have to reset. We'll have to see what Lafayette decide to do. It looks like they are just going to settle for this mid lane tower. Volibear teleports in, but unable to save it. And now we see Echo is going to try to deal with this Akali. I have no idea what's going to happen, by the way. I wasn't able to watch this game because this one was going on at the same time as the other. It's Team 1's game, so I missed all of this. I would love to tell you that Lafayette does something really cool in the next couple minutes, but I actually don't know. All right, we have a 2v1 here in the top lane. It looks like Akali looks for a fight, but misses some key abilities and then decides to just get out. That is one of the most annoying things about playing this ninja. She can just dash so many places. It is so frustrating to try to deal with her. Even in the 2v1 against the strongest person on Butler's team, Akali able to make it out is huge there in that moment. Does not give over her shutdown. Her shutdown starting to grow up to 350 gold at this point, and Akali is has remained safe. Butler will be able to claim another tower though for themselves, closing that gold lead. And at this point, the gold lead does not matter much because they have all these dragons. They've put themselves one dragon away from collecting soul. And it looks like Lafayette has found no headway into some of these team fights yet. There's some poke coming down. It looks like Lafayette has collapsed and found the collapse that they needed. They get 1 kill, 2 kills quickly over to them. It looks like Butler is trying to collapse and do something about it, but it's a little bit too late. They cannot find anything. So 3 members from Butler try to converge on them and they cannot find their moment. Lafayette taking those 2 kills and walking away. Just kidding. And Yone flashing away. Alright. Everyone backs off for now. Intense game here in this moment because, like I said in the last game, after a certain point, death timers just get really, really long. Everything after 20 minutes can lose you the game. So early in the game, it just gets you advantages, but at this point, it can become game deciding. You cannot just give things away. Smolder teleporting dangerously into the middle lane. If someone from Lafayette had been waiting there for him, he would have been left alone, which would have been pretty awful for him, right? He just came alive. He decided to do that. Looks like Butler's sending 4 now, top side, to try to deal with this Akali, but Akali, for all they know, is already gone. And in fact, that is exactly what's happening. She's peacing out. She's like, nope, no thank you. Third tower claimed for Butler. And shrinked it now down to 1,000 gold. And Lafayette trying to look for a fight while Twisted Fate is on the other half of the map. Landing down some good poke, but not able to find a whole lot else from it. We can see here from Butler's perspective, they do still have this ward on the Baron. Nope, just kidding. Now they have no idea. And because they cannot see the Baron anymore, they're like, guys, we got to get in here and get a ward on this. They could be doing Baron. We cannot just let them do it for free. We need to get in there. This is a big moment. Here comes Lafayette. The Seraphine ult connects on 2. Twisted Fate comes in, but Twisted Fate is not able to do a whole lot, and Twisted Fate's getting low. He's starting to run away from the fight. Lafayette's shields are overlapping just too much, and no one from Lafayette has gone down. All 5 from Lafayette stay alive thanks to the double shields coming out from Seraphine and Karma, and that is a clean wipe. 5-0 for Lafayette, including the Baron. And with Dragon spawning in 20 seconds, Lafayette will take a reset here and attack the map together. And as we can see, Butler still, 10 seconds on the next person to respawn. They cannot contest this. By the time they're alive, Lafayette will have already taken the Dragon. And they are attacking the map now as 5. This should be the final push. Swipe support is so annoying. I agree. Well, honestly, y'all, this Dragon for Lafayette, as long as they are able to finally secure, looks like Echo might go for it. Nope, just kidding. I thought he was going to go for a steal, but this stops the potential 4th Dragon for Butler, which was something that they still had going for them. And obviously they can still get another one, but oh, my cat just threw up. That's great. Thank you, cat. I appreciate you. We got a fight over here though, and 2 go down while I'm watching my cat be a cat. Well, whatever. Doesn't matter. Lafayette pushing us 5 down the mid lane, deciding that they don't care about what's happening top. They don't care about what's happening bot. They are going to push for this end. Twisted Fate is still dead for another 25 seconds. And they do not feel like anyone on this team can stop them. They're going to take this tower. They're going to get another Seraphine ult. And another kill. And then you can see, you might not be able to see the shields, but you can tell by how healthy Lafayette is. Those shields are negating so much damage. They're just, it makes them seem so much harder to kill. And this Echo cannot kill them all. Twisted Fate coming in, trying to stop this, but at this point there's just 2 against 5. Lafayette take 1 down, take 2 down, and that is the game. A decisive end with that Baron push, and that is the power of Baron. GG's coming out in the chat, and that is a 2-0 stomp from Lafayette's team 2. GG's. All right, give me a moment to pause for a bit. I'm just gonna put it back on this screen and go grab some water.
よね
Sorry for ending it, Rise. It's getting hype, but I am going to hop into this next game because, you know, I have a life and I've got 2 more games to cast. So this is our varsity team. This is our team 1. This is our main team coming out here. And this is against Danville? I say that with a lot of question. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this on directed camera, let it flip around to different people. Oops, back to directed, and I'm going to double check that because I feel silly. No, it's the Admirals. Yeah, it's Danville High School. There we go. Cool. All right, I wasn't losing my mind. And so Lafayette here in the red against Danville in the blue. You'll notice one character is the same. This character, Brom, is a favorite of a lot of Lafayette supports, and Naomi here, Peep, is playing the Brom. We've got Will Cullen on Jinx. We've got, here's another Yon. This is Mina, the captain of the team. Sawyer on Echo. We actually just saw that character on the enemy team. Really wasn't able to accomplish a lot on the enemy team, so we'll have to see what he does here. And then Liam Watson on Shen. Meanwhile, for Danville, they've got Nasus, who is a big old dog, and he bonks things, and the better he bonks things, we call it stacks. The more stacks he gets, the harder he can bonk. I mean, I really don't know what else to say about it. I'm gonna let you see a moment of it in just a second. You can see how he has his normal auto attacks, but he also has that big slam down, and as he does that, you can see here he gets something called Siphoning Strike. It permanently increases his damage. So if he can get a lot of those, right, now he has six permanently increased damage, he could turn into a huge threat, right? So Nasus is a slow character at the start, and the hope is the payoff in the end, as long as you can build that up. Meanwhile, here in the mid lane, we've got this Ahri. Ahri is sometimes a favorite of Mina in the mid lane, but she has not played it this year yet. Not because we haven't made her, just hasn't really come up as something that we've wanted to do. And let's see, Jin Zhao in the jungle, he is an early fighter. He can do a lot early, but he can do a lot late. And we already see the first gank coming out here in the top lane. And first blood going over to Sawyer, state finalist in soccer, and looking to grab another major trophy at another varsity sport here in League of Legends. And already looking for another gank here. Ahri respectfully backing off. She did have vision in this bush, so she's able to get out. She'll take a little bit of damage. Meanwhile, Jin Zhao, all he did was clear, so it's very interesting to see how he decided to play the map. Mina is getting low here in the mid lane, taking quite a bit of damage. Shen's getting ganked now. Will he die? He has to blow the flash. That is tough moment for him. But that does show you that Lafayette might have lost a little bit of track of the enemy jungler, knowing that he should have been clearing. Looks like Echo went for a repeat gank here in the mid lane, but not keeping track of where he could be. And now it looks like both Echo and Yon are going to help each other push this out, especially since Yon is so low on health. You don't want to risk anything. Yon dashes in, but this could turn into disaster. And that is going to be kill over to the Jin Zhao. Maybe even a double kill. Double kill over to the Jin Zhao. Great start for Danville to pick up those 2 kills on the Jin Zhao. But Lafayette, not really all that far behind, only 300 gold behind, mainly because of how well they are. They continue to CS. We see this 33 to 20 down here. Pretty even in mid. Top's not super even, but he's about to pick up all this, right? So it's pretty even. So I mean, Lafayette is just hanging out. It looks like a kill happened here in the mid lane that we missed, and that was so quick that I just had no idea that that was even going to happen. And Metro Mina picking up this kill on the Yone and continuing to look to be aggressive into the Ahri. That, you know, sometimes when you die, like we've talked about this in the last game, sometimes when you die, you just want to play safe. You don't want to die again. And it looks like Mina, captain, seasoned veteran, dies and comes right back in and is like, no, I win these. Good aggressive trade there from Liam in the top lane. And a kill in the bot lane. Vayne going to pick up another kill and assisted by the Xin Zhao. The Xin Zhao is everywhere right now, helping his team out to yet another advantage. Lafayette's going to need to keep better track of this enemy jungler, otherwise it is going to get tough for them. That being said, Echo saw that the gank happened by and immediately started the Krugs, knowing that no one from Lafayette could get onto this dragon in time. That's what happens when you get killed. You're off the map, so it just immediately makes a play on the other half of the map. And so while they will lose this dragon, at the exact same time they are going to pick up these Krugs, and that's not something we saw in the other game. If you remember in the other game, it seemed like in the first game Lafayette's jungler was getting every objective and Butler wasn't able to do anything about it. And in this game we see Lafayette's jungler, when one thing was happening on one side of the map, he immediately tried to get an advantage on the other half of the map. So well played there from Sawyer. I'm trying to keep an eye on things because I never know where the action's going to get. And we see Shin here collapses a giant wave onto the Nasus. Good wards here by Lafayette. I would have preferred to see this one over on the other side of the wall, but that's fine. Lafayette, Metro Mina picks up another kill. They know that the Echo could come in here. Or not that the Echo, sorry, that the Xin Zhao could come in here, and we see the Echo is checking these bushes, trying to say, get out. Xin Zhao, we know you're here. Even though they didn't have vision on him in the bush, they knew he was there because he passed over a different ward that Lafayette had, this ward right here. So when he walked this way and into the bush, they knew he was there. It's another thing you expect of the Varsity team. They do not need vision in a particular place to know that someone is there by process of elimination and seeing how they get there. We can even see this here. Lafayette had these wards, right? And so they can see how Xin Zhao is walking. They're keeping good track of him there. I really like the placement of this ward. And they saw that he was walking this way, so Lafayette should be saying, hey, Xin Zhao's on this half of the map now, and he's heading towards bot lane. So bot lane's the ones who needs to be careful. Right now, Xin Zhao hasn't made a move yet, but they don't know that. They don't have vision of him. This could have been dangerous. Looks like Xin Zhao is continuing to just farm it out. I'm not sure. He's not using his advantage yet. Looks like he might start making a play for it. He's very indecisive. He was going to go bot. He's going to go mid. He's going to go bot. Where's he going to go? Looks like he's committing to bot. He's running down here. He's sprinting down here, and he's still sprinting down here, and here he comes. And not able to make the play. Naomi with the with the very classic, so we call it emoting. I'm not a big fan of it, but you know, it's just like any sport. Every sport has their banter, right? As long as it doesn't get excessive, it's fine. They're high school kids. Echo making a play down here, and they're going to pick off the Thresh, and Will Cullen able to secure that kill on the Jinx. That is huge for him to help him in this matchup against the Vayne, who had a kill before him. Xin Zhao still, once again, because of this vision by Lafayette, Jin Zhao has been walking back and forth trying to find a place where he can use his kill lead, his advantage, to do something, and he just can't find a place to do anything. You can see how much time he's wasting here, and how Metro Mina here just respecting that the Jin Zhao could be there and backs off. Oh, this could be a dead Braum, and Jinx. He's gonna have to fight his way out of this. He finds hold, and that is definitely a dead Jinx. And Braum dashing back in to try to save Jinx, but Jinx was dead, and so that is going to be a 2 kills over to Danville's there. So a little sloppy of play, but even with that kill lead, this just goes back to the importance of what matters on the map. Lafayette with a 500, 600 gold lead, 500-ish gold lead as a team, even though they're down in kills because of other things that they have done on the map, including CSing better, or even, right? Or gaining tower plates. Tower plates are worth quite a bit of gold, especially if you get a bunch of them. And once again, this Echo trying to make plays across the map wherever he can. Well done. Going to grab all 6 of those for his team. So what that'll let him do, his team do, is push towers a little bit better. And to show you what I mean by this, once they start in this tower, you'll see these things spawn, and they're really weird looking. You see them, they just popped out, and they're like very little, and they do very little damage, but it's something. And any damage against the turret, you can see how much damage was done to this turret. This turret cannot stand another push like that, and so Danville's going to have to decide when they get things like those double kills, what can they do on the map? Because whatever they did last time, it took them so long to get back onto the map, like when you reset and you walk back out, that they lost even more. I love this vision coming out from Lafayette. On the actual camps themselves are usually better. I would prefer if we could get something here onto the Raptor camp, but because then they would have seen the Jin Zhao a little bit sooner. But no, they see him anyway. They see him right here. Good flash coming out from the Yone, trying to zone off the Jin Zhao. Very even game at this point in the game, but Lafayette able to take the dragon and just walk out. Smartly played, knowing that Yone is low health and just flashed. Does not want to fight here. Wants to take that advantage that they just gained. Okay, I like how I said Yone doesn't want to fight here. Yone looking for a fight here. Already having to flash out. Not really sure about that ult from Yone, but that's fine. We don't talk about it. Echo looking for a gank here in the bot lane. Maybe so is Jin Zhao, but they see Jin Zhao on a ward. They know that Jin Zhao could be down here. If they're going to make a play, they're going to want to do it fast or back off. And good Lafayette. Smartly back off. And so Jin Zhao, this character does not like to just farm. He doesn't do well with that. He wants to fight early. And the issue is because he's been looking for all these fights. Oh, and the knockup barely clips from Metro Mina here. And Echo gashes in, takes the kill. And even though Yone goes back out, here in this 1v1, Metro Mina is just destroying the Jin Zhao, who was the stronger of the two just a little bit ago. And Sawyer is going to take the shutdown. Really well played. Back-to-back kills from the senior jungle and the senior mid laner here. And with those kills, they're going to get a lot of damage onto this mid lane tower, and Echo is going to continue to counter jungle and take away from the Jin Zhao. All Jin Zhao can do right now is farm because he can't get a gank off, but he can't even farm because Echo's taking things every time he tries to do anything on the other side of the map. This is becoming a very unplayable game for him. It looks like they might go for a kill up here in the top side of the map. This Nasus is not that low though. I don't think you can go for it. And it looks like Shin is going to die for it. And there's a double kill for the Nasus. That is very unfortunate for them. And Lafayette's bot lane died in a fight that I did not see because of everything going on in topside. So that's unfortunate for Lafayette. Love this aggression coming out from Mina here, knowing the limits of her champ, not remotely worried that she was low on health, knowing also the limits of Ari, considering that is one of her most played. That being said, here comes Jin Zhao. Jin Zhao's looking. Metro Mina should see him now. Dodges the damage and just walks away. It looks like Jin Zhao wants nothing to do with that. Maybe because he's very focused on this, but they've already lost the tower here in the mid lane. And that's a huge amount of gold over to Lafayette's mid laner now with 6,900 gold to the 4,500 of Ari. That is almost a full item's worth of an advantage. Echo here looking for the steal, does not have vision of this. So this is blind. Does not see it, hops in, steals it, and gets out. So now you will notice the enemy team is going to sit here on this and make sure Lafayette can't pick it up. When you kill Rift Herald, you have to pick it up after. That thing that crashes into turrets that we saw in the last game. And so even though Sawyer was able to steal it, neither team basically gets it, and Lafayette's perfectly fine with that. Made them waste their time. They spent all that time attacking it, and then Sawyer came in, made it so no one can have it. This is going to be a first tower over, or not first tower, but it's another tower over for Lafayette, but they spend a lot of their focus onto the Thresh. They knock him up. He is CC, but he's still not dead yet. And up goes the Vayne, and that is going to be a shutdown over to Mina. Double kill for Metro Mina, and here come Lafayette invading into this side. You thought this was your half of the map. You thought this was your jungle. This is Lafayette's jungle. And that is going to be another kill to Lafayette. 11-9, but a 4,000 gold lead to Lafayette. And let's just look at this. When you were Danville, this is what you could see. You cannot see any part of this map. And so right now, this is no longer yours. Meanwhile, Lafayette have so much vision. This is Lafayette's vision. They feel like this is actually an extension of theirs. They have all of this to play with safely. So compared to last game, the top lane matchup here, so if y'all remember the way Kasim was playing Akali and was looking for a lot of kills as this assassin, this top lane matchup, Nasus just wants those stacks. We could check in. He has an extra 369 damage. So as we saw earlier, that turned into that 1v2 he was able to do. He's kind of a boring character, but in that sense, he can become very hard to deal with. Meanwhile, Shen also doesn't care about doing a whole lot. He can take these aggressive trades and make Nasus's life hard. Oh, we gotta fight here. But basically what Shen does, he's a different kind of his lore is that he's a ninja, but he's very protective, and so his whole kit allows him to be protective. He can use his ultimate to come into fights and shield up a teammate. All right, we got a fight here from Lafayette. Metro Mina just saying, get off the giant. She is now dominating. That being said, the Echo was focused on the fight, tries to go back in, but it is stolen. So even though he gets the steal though, let's see if he pays for it. All right, he pays for it with his life, but they do get that dragon. That can be frustrating for Lafayette, but they're probably laughing right now at themselves. Can they finish off this other kill? Metro Mina's tether is going to snap her back. Nope, they cannot. Echo was looking. All right, Echo's not going. Echo's not going. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, Liam did go down in the 1v1. I wonder if he was trying to ult in on the fight. Nope, it didn't look like he was using his ult, so he just lost in the 1v1, but that's fine. His character doesn't really care about 1v1s right now. It only comes to the point when if this character, Nasus, can start pushing and no one can deal with him, then he becomes a problem, but he's not very good in team fights because, as you can see, he just doesn't have range. He can bonk the thing right in front of him, and that's very hard in a 5v5 team fight to get right on top of someone. So he would much rather not be with his team. So him having a lead doesn't really matter unless he's pushing towers, and he still hasn't even taken a tower yet. Meanwhile, Lafayette have taken 3 on the map and probably looking for more. So this is an awkward point right now. This Jhin gets pushed pretty far up, and while she does have vision, You know, she doesn't have a whole lot of teammates around her. Meanwhile, Mina and Liam are invading the enemy jungle, trying to make it very hard for them to feel like anything is theirs. I like the pressure that they're adding. It's kind of an awkward moment, deciding what it is they want to do. They know they have a lead. They know they can win fights. They're just probably thinking of where do we want to pick a fight? Or how close are we to other items? So for example, we see Jinx basing and she's able to pick up the Infinity Edge. Now we know for a fact that this Jinx wants to fight. This is a moment where for the rest of the game, she is strong. She can clean up fights. She is a threat now. Kind of a subdued moment. 20 minutes in, Lafayette looking for the Baron. Meanwhile, Danville have no vision on it, and they have overloaded this bot half of the map. They've got the support down here. They're putting their wards down here. And I'm not really sure why. The Dragon's not spawning for another 2 minutes. It looks like they might know. Jin Zhao is trying to run top, and it's because Lafayette have attacked this Nasus, who's been thinking he's been alone this whole game. They've taken the top lane turret. And now Lafayette have started up the Baron. Echo's pretty low here. Going to have to find a way to get some health. Baron does a lot of damage these days. The old Baron used to not. And now Jin Zhao not able to find a steal. Wonder if Lafayette will look for a fight here. They're trying to do something, but not exactly sure. The concussive blows come out from the Braum. Braum is doing a little bit here. They get some CC down onto Vayne. Vayne's probably going to pick up this kill, but what will Lafayette get in return? They might have bit off more than they could chew. They do get the... Alright, that's 1 kill over. 2 kills over. Ooh, that was a lot of damage. Lafayette almost lost several members, but living life on a thread there. They're going to take that recall, and now we saw... Just like Team 2 did, they're going to push with this Baron. That is the reason you get it. You don't get it so that you can fight. You get it so that you can push. And Lafayette is going to attack the map with this Baron. Without... Well, shouldn't have teleport and his ult. So, I mean, he should be looking to go to a different lane and be looking to make a play there. But that's fine. He's grouping with his team. It looks like Lafayette may just be sending all 5 mid. I like that. Considering there's no reason to risk anything right now. They want to get these towers. The thing that they'll have to keep in mind though is how they're going to choose to be aggressive. It's important that they focus down the tower as they do so. Nasus is still full pushing, but in comes Ahri. Jin Zhao is trying to flank from the backside, and Echo goes a little too far in. He tries to get out. In goes Mina. Mina taking a lot of damage from the tower, taking damage from the tower. She's going to get a kill, but she's also going to go down and give a shutdown over to the Vayne. Meanwhile, we see this fight breaking out. Another kill for Will Cullen here on the Jinx, and that should be the game right there. We'll have to see and make sure. But there's still another 20 seconds left on anyone. That's probably going to be it. It's just really important that they focus down towers and not waste their time on anyone else, because otherwise everyone else is going to spawn. And there goes one person. And now the bonks are coming out, and I think Lafayette have overstayed their welcome. This is probably going to be another kill over to the Nasus. Well, Will Cullen might be dominating, but Vayne's going to pick up 1. Vayne's going to pick up 2. And that is a lot of gold back to Danville, especially on Vayne. So just to give you a glimpse of how much gold people have, Jinx and Vayne are sitting at about the same gold. Actually, Jinx is up almost 900, so say about the same, not really. Danville's going to be picking up their third dragon of the game, and it's going to give them an objective bounty, so that's going to give their team an influx of gold. That's kind of nice to have. An extra 500 gold in an objective bounty as a team once they take this down. We see probably the biggest difference in gold is going to be it's a tie between mid and jungle, right? Between Lafayette's mid and jungle. Well, exciting game so far. Lafayette, though, the Varsity team getting a little antsy there at the end, did not have to go for any damage onto the Nasus and started to tank turret shots as well as damage from the Nasus and did not focus down the turrets while they had the chance to. And so instead of being able to end there at the 24-minute mark, we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, and hopefully not so much longer that Danville has a way back into this. Looks like Lafayette's immediately attacking the map again. Taking more and more towers off this map, making it harder and harder for Danville to defend. Danville's looking for a flank, but cannot find anything, and here comes Shen. Maybe they're going to collapse onto this Jin Zhao. They find the target, and Jin Zhao is alone from his team. His team cannot make it there, but so is the Braum on the other half. Jin Zhao goes down first. Braum is still alive, and in come Lafayette. Shen needs to back up and then get ready to ult a teammate who needs it. I'd also like to see, I think I'd like to see Shen pushing this mid lane here. Because why not? Because he can always just ult onto a teammate. Braum's going to get hooked. Braum's probably going to die, and there's one kill over to the Vayne. 2 kills over to the Vayne, but Vayne is blown up by Sawyer there on the Echo. But Echo now in a position where he is all alone. His teammates have abandoned him to die. And Danville continuing to hold on really, really well in this game. It might be a little too late, though. We'll have to see. Nasus is such a frustrating character to go against, and they are able to catch up to him and kill him. So something else Nasus can do, this dog with the giant axe, is he can slow you down to a crawl. It's called Wither. It slows you by all the way up to, it starts at 35%, increases up to 95% slow, which almost feels like you cannot move anymore, right? Like you're down to 5% of your movement speed. You almost feel like you're standing still. You are crawling at that point, which you might as well just be standing still then. That's how they were able to catch up to him. All right, well, Lafayette has super minions pouring into the mid lane, but it looks like they've got their sights set on Baron. Danville still, for the longest time, have not been able to access their own side of the map. They have not been able to make headway into Lafayette's half. They have not been able to take this tier 1 turret in the mid lane. And meanwhile, Lafayette is doing the Baron, and look how hard it is for Danville to walk up. If they ignore this wave, which it seems like that's what they might do, then that wave will collapse towards their mid lane. And red team is now slain the Baron. That awkward snapback from the Yone is always funny. When you don't want it to, but you don't have a choice, it will always snap back. So Lafayette here in a 29-minute game, but they do have the Baron, and last time they had the Baron, they could have ended. They just made a very antsy mistake. Have to hope that they're not going to do that again, and then they can end this game within the next minute or so, so we can hop into game 2. But Danville holding strong, continuing to try to get as much gold into Vayne as possible. Vayne at 3 items now with the Blade of the Ruined King, the Ginsus, and the Terminus. All of these items allow her to attack very, very fast, and she is a character that every 3 autos she does extra, we call it true damage. It ignores resistances, so she can like shred tanks and things. She can become a real terror in the game. Finally, we see this, the Shen split pushing while everyone else is pushing. In goes Echo. But Shin is still not ulted, and in comes the Shin ult now. There it is. There's the big shield on to the Yone. And now we've got a fight on our hands, and it's going to happen into this choke point. Lafayette taking one, Lafayette taking two. So much chaos on the map. So many Lafayette members incredibly low. But a triple kill coming out for Will Cullen. Notice how this ADC stayed safe that entire fight. Stayed incredibly healthy, and that is going to be the end. Okay, sorry for jinxing it. My bad. Okay, yeah, that's the end. And that is the end of game one. Whew, that was a very close comeback for Danville there. Had they won that fight, they would have gotten Mountain Soul. Maybe they would have been able to hold out for a little longer, but Lafayette clinches the victory. We will hop into this last... Oh, sorry, spoiler alert. We'll hop into this next game. Game 2 for the varsity team here. And once again, we will see, just like with any League of Legends team, sometimes you change characters out, sometimes you do not. We can see here on Lafayette's side, that's not Lafayette's side, sorry, this is Danville's side. On Danville's side, they have changed over every single one of their characters for a different. They have Samira Rakan, which is a kill lane. They can dash, they have to get in close range. Syndra likes to push people away. She can do a lot of damage. Diana likes to go in. She does a lot of AoE damage. That means like area of effect, like in an area. In the top lane, Fiora is very good at the 1v1 fighting, which tends to be what we saw last game. For like the first almost 20 minutes of the game, those two top laners were in a constant duel against each other. Lafayette sitting here guarding this entrance, thinking maybe they might have invaded and they were going to be ready for it.
Minions have spawned.
Meanwhile, on Lafayette's side, we'll have to take a look at this comp. We see Seraphine. We saw Seraphine from Team 2 earlier. Seraphine was playing the bot lane then, but now it's played by our Captain Mina. And here in the bot lane, we still have the Jinx, but instead of a Braum support, we have the Janna. Janna is the god of the winds, and she likes pushing people away with her, either her tornado or her, I don't know what you would call her ult. So I'm just going to click on her and cheat. Monsoon. It knocks everything back in a circle around her. In the top lane, we got this monstrosity, the Urgot. He's this mechanical crab. I don't know what this skin is. I think it's High Noon. He's got like a cowboy hat on of some sort. Anyway, he's got shotgun knees. You can see how those knees do extra damage. That's what these yellow lines are. So he's already shot the shotgun out of that knee. So he would have to position in a way to be able to get the shotgun blast in from the other knees. And Fiora is respecting it. Sorry, now instead of on the Echo that was getting off a lot of those early ganks, now he's playing a character named Graves. Graves usually shoots a shotgun, but with this skin, it looks like he's shooting a snowblower, because why not? It's Snow Day Graves for the win. I'm wondering if we're going to get to see any of the tornadoes so that I can explain to you, like, why Janna is a different character than Braum. Braum had the big shield, and you saw some stuns and things come out. Braum would have been good here. I think it might have been banned. I don't recall anymore what the draft was like. This is the tornado that she could build up, and then you can see how when she shoots it off, it knocks people up. It can be very frustrating to deal with. This Urgot is Liam's favorite character here in the top lane. I would also argue that Seraphine is Mina's favorite character. I don't think Graves is Sawyer's favorite character, but he's never going to get to play his main character is Viego, and whoops. And Viego is been banned from him from every team we've played against so far. And I imagine that trend will continue for a very long while. Lafayette bot lane. Janna has gotten down to about half health, and it looks like Diana's looking for this. Diana's running in. Diana's gonna come for the fight. And the slows come out. They try to get away. Will they be able to? Diana continue to look. Cannot finish them off. And Lafayette able to get out, but lost a lot of health points there to do so. And oh, in walked the Jinx, and Jinx might die for that now. All right, Jinx is gonna have to just base now and lose this whole wave. That could be very frustrating. Looks like Jinx might actually stay. Wonder if they'll go for any more of a fight here. Meanwhile, we saw this a lot from Sari in the last game. If a jungler's doing something on one half of the map, he's looking to do something on the other, and I love to see it. It's what gives him the small advantages, and over time it turns into larger and larger advantages. And he just takes that away from Diana. Diana cannot have that now. Now it looks like Graves is going to look for a fight mid. Flash comes out from Syndra. She has no great way of defending herself anymore for the next 6 seconds. This is so her scatter the weak ability. It pushes everything back. So she was definitely in danger there, but it looks like they decide not to keep chasing. We'll have to see how Lafayette decides to abuse this flash timer, because Syndra can be ganked pretty easily when that is down. Not very easily, but decently, you know. All right, so far Lafayette have built a 500 gold lead just, or 400 gold lead just from farming. When we can take a look from this, in the top lane, Urgot has a huge advantage over the Fiora. In the jungle, it's pretty even. In the mid lane, it's pretty even. In the bot lane, it's pretty even. So most of this lead is sitting here in the top lane. In fact, we can see 300 of it here on the Urgot. That is a kill's worth of gold because of his patience and his skill with his character to be able to continue to last hit under pressure. Looks like Graves is going to start up the Krugs. It is a skill to be able to farm under turrets. This is an important skill that we have to practice. It's the most boring skill to practice, but it is one of the most important because it can add up to a lot of gold for your team. As we can see that Lafayette has a 500 gold lead without doing, I mean, they've been doing things, but you know what I mean? Like they're not doing things, right? Like they're not getting kills, they're not taking towers. That gold lead is coming from the discipline and the understanding of how their characters work. And doing the boring things like practicing CSing for a very, very long time every practice. I would liken it to free throws, right? Not fun to do. Nothing flashy about it. But if you do it, it can win you games. And if you don't do it, it will lose you games. Guaranteed. The team never practiced free throws, they would lose the game. I would bet it. Some characters are easier to CS than others. As we saw, Seraphine just, you know, cleared that wave instantly with her kit. She just trades mana for first blood over here for the Samira, and that may turn into a double kill. Jinx on the run. Jinx is gonna have to flash out. She is able to get out, but that is first blood over to the Samira, and that is a huge pickup for them. So maybe a little bit of over aggression there from, oh, this Rakan is level 6. They could look for something here. Jinx might be level 6, but Rakan, the support here, going to be looking for something. We'll have to see if he can find it. Meanwhile, here in the mid lane, looks like they're trying to make their way down. Graves, Seraphine moving on down. Oh, and this is awkward. First goes down the Jinx. Next goes down the Janna. Oh, just kidding. Next goes... Janna's still alive. Janna is still alive. That is really important. And a double kill over to the Graves. And just in time too, it looks like he'll be able to just start up this dragon with 0 contest because everyone died or wasn't around from Devil. That being said, because he's doing this alone, it looks like Danville might be able to make a sprint for this and do something about it. I'm not sure Graves will be able to do this in time, and it looks like that's exactly what Danville's trying to do. They are running. They know exactly how much health is on this because they had a ward on the Dragon Pit, and Sawyer knows that he's in trouble, and he is going to leave it. So, unfortunate choice there to have to make, but a very smart choice from the Graves. I'd prefer... I like that he went for the dragon. I love seeing that we go for them. But I think it's always important to know when you need to give it. Your intent should always be to get it. But that doesn't mean you can always get it. And if you force, sometimes you lose more than you can gain. There's going to be a gank here in the mid lane. Syndra able to walk away. A lot of aggression coming out from this Lafayette bot lane who has continued to die, and then there's the tornado coming out from the Janna. You can see why she's such an important character in this, and the flash is coming out. Oh wow, Vayne Mother barely able to secure the kill there. A lot of skill showing there on Danville's jungler. 2 kills for them, and both very well deserved. Up in the top lane, at some point Liam died, and it looks like it had to have been to a gank because Fiora has an assist. But Liam continuing to out CS, continues to maintain a small but existent advantage. Once again, Lafayette. Actually, this time it is Danville who have upped their vision game. We can see all the wards that they have placed around here. Most of them are going to start expiring. You can see the white of them, that's the timer. This could get awkward. Great 2-person ult. Liam on the top side is going to get the solo kill onto the Fiora. Meanwhile, Mina and Sawyer, just like last game, going to find the 2v2 kill onto one. Will they be able to find a 2v2 kill onto the next? Now it's Mina and Liam. It looks like they're going to have to back off, and it looks like Mina might have cut herself out. Takes a little bit of damage and goes down there. Definitely a little bit of over-aggression there. Alright, Lafayette jungler looking for a gank here in the bot lane. Sorry, I was taking a sip of water. Cannot find anything. There's this vision right here in this bush that's going to make it a little bit hard, and they are going to see the Graves and instantly back off, so there's not a whole lot they can do about it. And Danville with the emote right back. Diana's looking for the gank onto the Seraphine in the mid lane. Mina does not have vision of it, but she knows that her jungler is on this half of the map, and so she's hovering this side very smartly to do so. She does not have vision on this side. Diana being very patient here, maybe too patient. In comes the Graves, going to pick up the 1 kill, and Diana goes in just in time to see her teammate die, and this may turn into 2 kills. 2 kills over to the Graves, and really well played from this duo of seniors. And that changes a lot for Lafayette. Even though it is tied in kills, it is not tied in gold, nor definitely not tied in pressure that Lafayette is exerting onto the map with these plays. I have to wonder though, what will be the first big moment that will break this game open? Like we said before, A lot of the early things that you do are to get small advantages, but the deaths after 20 minutes will lose you games. The ones before there will give you advantages or lose you advantages, make your life easier or harder. But everything after 20 minutes will start losing you games. So I'm very curious what Lafayette's going to start going for. That being said, we see that Danville is trying to make a play here on the top side. They clearly don't think that anything can be made here. Graves hops over, gets some damage onto the Syndra. The Syndra walks out just fine. Looks like Danville is really up to their vision game after losing last game. Severe almost died here in the bot lane. We missed that. Even though she has a nice lead in her matchup on her own, she is struggling to stay alive here, and this comes from relentless pressure that this bot lane duo gives. Even if they die, they love applying pressure up to the point where they will get the first tower of the game. So even though they were the ones dying, they found the first advantage, and towers are worth quite a lot of gold. We can even see here where the Jinx is even in gold with the Samira, even though Samira has 2 kills. Again, emphasizing the point that kills are great and all, but they don't win you games unless you do something with them. And so even though Danville got those kills, they were not able to find pressure onto the map. But this might be another fight. There's the Monsoon from the Jan to push everyone back. The Seraphine ult misses, but Jinx is going to take down one. And at this point, Lafayette being grouped together like this is really, really smart. I love that Urgot went mid while the other 4 were bot. They're like, hey, if you do stuff topside, we don't really care. We're gonna make a play down here, and we're going to shift our entire team. Urgot roams mid, gets his CS, and now Urgot's gonna go back top, and so Fiora is really not gonna get anything out of this play. Oh, looks like Urgot's just gonna walk away. Maybe he has an item. Let's check in on that. Let's see if he finishes this item. Yep, he combines it into the Hull Breaker. A strong item, even if you don't decide to split push. I'm not a super big fan of it, but I also don't hate it. Like, I really don't. Like, it used to be very, very like it's only good in split pushing. Now I think it's like it's fine. Either way, it's just different than what it used to be. That's all. All right, if we're taking stock of things, it looks like the Graves has stolen the blue buff. Once again, just constantly invading on the enemy jungler, making them have to choose what they're going to do. He's looking for this kill mid, but I don't think he's gonna find it. He might be chasing a little too far and realizes, yep, I'm not chasing past our line of vision. Instead, uses that pressure to try to make headway on to the Rift Herald. Meanwhile, Diana's looking. Well, it looks like on the other half of or somewhere else. It looks like Jinx was killed by the Syndra. I must have missed how that happened. That is fine. Lafayette is starting up the Rift Herald. And it looks like maybe Danville's going to collapse, but it seems like they can't decide if they want to or not, or how they're going to do it. You can see they're looking. Oh, that was close to being a steal, but it was not quite there. And so Danville having to back off. They send multiple people up here, though. They're looking for a play. They're like, we gave up the Rift Herald, but we want to do something. There's that tornado knock up. And so now, just like in the other team, remember we saw with Team 2, they had a version of 2 shielders. We also have that here with them, which is very interesting. Not intended, I swear. Although no one would ever believe me. Rakan looks to go in. Alright, Diana's looking for the flank here. Lafayette does not see this coming until it's too late. Here comes Diana. And goes Rakan. They're going to get the knockup onto Mina. And great Monsoon from Janna knocks them away. And they actually cannot kill the Seraphine. So Janna trades her life for her mid laners. And that is the only reason that she's able to flash out there and not take the bulk of that damage. And in the top side of the map, it looks like Fiora gets a kill. But once again, like I said, what do you do with that kill? It looks like Fiora decided to dance. And I don't... I mean, like, I'll be 100% honest. Like, cool. Good for you. Let's see if you do anything with it, though. Because if she gets that kill and does nothing, besides continue to farm, then what's the point? Because Lafayette's just continuing to take things on the map. Top laner dead, that's fine. We're taking mid tower. I imagine Fiora is going to get this tower now. She is going to be able to free hit it for a while. It's not like Urgot will be even alive for another 2 seconds. So even if he tried to teleport instantly right now, he's not going to make it in time. It looks like he knows that. He's going to teleport to a minion instead of to the tower. Very smart. Because if the tower goes down while you're teleporting to it, you lose your teleport. That's a long cooldown. That's a 330-second cooldown. You know, 5.5 minutes. Definitely not worth it to waste on something as silly as trying to teleport onto a tower that's going to go down anyway. And actually now the Fiora has stayed and has no mana. We've talked about this with mages. She is going to have to recall and probably waste her teleport to come right back top, and she's still just stuck in this lane. She used her lead to get, you know, an item probably. She's probably gonna go back and buy some items, yeah. But like, she's not helping her team win the game. Meanwhile, on the other half of the map, we got a big play. Dana gets a great ult, and he's shut down onto the graves. Flash is coming out. Great dodge from Seraphine there. Huge double ult. Will Jinx be able to get this? 1 kill. Oh, almost got to there. Not quite able to get it. And Danville able to pick up several kills there and almost equalize this gold difference. Or sorry, they are able to get a slight lead. So Lafayette being down 9-13 in kills, but Lafayette's only down about 500 gold, but they are down. It is important to note that in terms of team gold, they are down. Now, at this stage in the game, it's really important to remember who that gold is on and how that matters. And so we could see that most of what Danville have as a lead is actually here in the mid lane. Syndra is doing really, really well for herself at 4-1 and 157 CS. She has 8,200 gold. She's invested that into a defensive item and 1 offensive item, similar to Seraphine. Defensive item and team item. So we'll have to see if she could turn her gold lead into a team advantage, and we're gonna see that here in this moment. This is going to be a really important fight. We can see that damage coming out from the Cinder. That is a lot of damage onto the Janna. That being said, it looks like they waited maybe a little bit too long. Seraphine goes down 1 for Danville. Meanwhile, on the other half of the map, double kill for Danville. This is disaster for Lafayette. Looks like another one's going to go down. Not sure how the Graves could live here. Urgot not in this play. Does not have teleport. Cannot come into this play. And a rampage for the Samira and a dragon for Danville. They're going to pull into an actual 2,000 gold lead. And Liam here going to get the tower, cut it back down to 1,000, but he might go down here. He decides to turn. He decides to say, you know what, I'm going for the fight. No more of this. And pulls it out with about 1/5 of his health left. That was insane. Huge play there from the Urgot. All right, Lafayette. It's down 10-17, but almost equal in gold. And they've gotten several towers. They've added pressure to this game. We'll have to see what Danville decides to do with their gold lead, or what Lafayette decides to do with their map pressure. They finally dropped this Rift Tail that they got earlier. It was probably about to expire. Like, you only have a certain amount of time to use it. Yeah. And it looks like Lafayette continues to apply pressure onto this map. And Danville looks for a fight, but so far they're the only ones taking damage. And Lafayette's grouping up as 5 now. There's the Monsoon from Janet, keeping everyone healed up. Not only does it knock everyone back, by the way, it also heals up her teammates who stand in it. It can be a very, very powerful tool in team fights. And there's a shutdown for Will Cullen on the Jinx. And that kills the Samira, who has a lot of Danville's gold. They're going to get another tower. There's... So Lafayette picks up a shutdown on Samira, picks up a tower in the mid lane, picks up a tower in the bot lane, and Lafayette just taking everything on the map. And even though they're down in gold, or were down in gold, they throw a big punch. They start sweeping out the area, trying to make sure that the enemy cannot see them here. They're going to clear out this vision, and we can see here from Danville's point of view, this is that suffocation that we saw in the other game. Once they get pushed in, Lafayette clears out what their vision is, and they cannot see. All they can see right now is this part of Baron, and Lafayette's starting to clear this out as well. It is going to get hard. Lafayette looking for Naomi, using that tornado to walk away. Ergot continues to split push on the other side of the map here, and you can see how Danville is pulled across. They were running one direction, then they have to start running the next direction. They do not know where to go, and this Diana might be cut out. She was looking for vision to make sure that they weren't doing the Baron. She loses over half her life for it. And there's the flash charm from Metro Mina. There's the shutdown. 1 kill. In comes Ergot. He does get his ult knocked, but he flashes in. And another siege here in the mid lane. And this Fiora that was able to get a small lead on the Ergot cannot find a way to turn that into a team advantage. Lafayette, when they group, turn into a death ball, shove down and force down this mid tower, force down this inhib. And look at that understanding by Lafayette to immediately back off. Now, I do love that Danville have all this vision. They'll know if Lafayette try to start anything. But will Danville even be able to respond? That's the real question. Even though they have the vision and can see it happening, will they be able to stop it from happening? That's going to wait to be decided. Lafayette, on the other hand, not going to start the Baron right now. They're going to take everything off the map that they can, make it so that this jungler cannot farm. They're going to clear out the vision, and now Danville is once again plunged into the dark. Danville cannot press in yet. That being said, Jinx is on the other half of the map. Maybe this Syndra can look for something. She's coming down here. Samira and Diana both needed to contest with this super minion here in the mid lane. You can see how hard it is to take down just one minion, but it is worth a lot of gold. You saw that 111. That's, you know, a third of a kill right there, right? With 45 seconds left until this next dragon, we'll have to see what can be done. It looks like Jinx might be getting collapsed on here. We can see this right here. Danville is starting to come down, try to run towards Jinx, but they are just not fast enough to be able to do so. They do not find that angle. Meanwhile, Ergot up here, another solo kill in the side lane. And so now Syndra has to base and call back and deal with Liam. Liam is just saying like, fine, you all group, I'm going to end the game. And so Danville constantly having to make decisions across the map. Like, do we send someone here? Do we send someone there? Syndra, their strongest player, cannot come to the team fight that they so desperately want her at because Liam wins that 1v1. Liam does not need to win this 1v1 anymore. He's won everything he needed here by forcing Syndra to come deal with him, and he is just playing safe now. He does not need to do anything. He takes quite a bit of damage there. He might go down for this. We'll have to see what Lafayette does instead, and looks like he's going to slink out like the crab that he is. Slow and steady. Lafayette going to start a new death ball, this time in the bot lane. Again, on the other half of the map. Diana, who had to run up to the top half of the map to deal with this Ergot and help Syndra, is now having to run clear across the way to make it to the other half. Cannot catch a break, and everything in her jungle is not hers. Everything's being taken from her. Lafayette is going to collapse on this Diana, who is alone, still trying to find a way into this game. And they are going to pick her off and kill her. Ooh, good knockback. That's the scout of the week from the Syndra to knock them back, but that is a decent cooldown. In fact, it should still be down for another 5 seconds, and it looks like Lafayette's going to make a play because they know that that big tool is down. The shields come out for the team. This is that power of having multiple shield characters. It can feel so hard to play against when they time those shields right to negate your damage. And Lafayette has already started the siege. They do not need the Baron. I say that. And there is a killing spree for the Syndra. That is that damage that Syndra can do. She can take out a character. And she takes out Will Colin there. It looks like Lafayette is going to retake some stock of the situation. Maybe take this top lane tower. But they're not going to overstay their welcome. They are going to just take the tower and back off, settling for the broken and tattered base of Danville. And Danville's Diana just feels desperate to make a play and goes in before any of her team is ready. No one from her team was there to follow up on that play she was trying to make, and she instantly goes down. And now Lafayette waiting. Urgot walking in. Urgot might go down here, but Urgot so far is able to stay safe. And here comes the damage. Okay, nope. So far, Lafayette continuing to group up as a team and continuing to deny vision and make the other team feel desperate to make a play. And I love that Lafayette's controlling this half of the map, because this half doesn't matter for another 2 minutes and 20 seconds, right? Like, this is the one with the Baron. So this is the side of the map that they are attacking. Alright, even though the mid lane inhibitors respond, they are attacking the top lane inhibitor. One down very, very quickly. Now they rotate over for the middle one. Well, some of them do. Some of them are fighting, and it looks like Lafayette is going to kill the Diana, who just spawned up again. Okay, she gets out with just a little bit of health, but barely any at all. Lafayette, one inhibitor down, two inhibitors down. And in goes Peep. She takes a lot of damage, but the greediness from the enemy team to try to flash in and get the kill on her might have just secured her team the victory. Acting as bait there, the enemy team completely overchases onto the Janna. And now, killing spree from Metromina. Will Cullen goes down there, but Sawyer cleans it right back up, avenges his fallen teammate, and that's going to be the end of the game. Lafayette down gold for a little bit there, but continuing to apply pressure for the rest of the game, and that is going to be a GG for them. Well played there from Lafayette to finish off that game. Well, that is going to have to be the end of the stream for me. Hope you all have a good day, and thanks for tuning in. GG's.